I should change the name of this, the title of this channel to just call it like the Pop Rivet channel.
March Unit 1, headquarters. Move out. Lead vehicle heading out of the fairgrounds. Thanks very much to Brown County Fairgrounds. March Unit 2, move out.
Okay, so here's our box. I put the neutral bar in. Didn't have a neutral bar before. This is our load center. And where's the bottom of the box? Here's where the bottom of the box originally was. Okay. Got our, this is a QOB bolt-on. Dual function, one single pole, 15 amp. So this is a QOB 115 DF, dual function. This is a GFCI and an arc fault interrupter. And I didn't realize that this is so much taller than a normal breaker. So if you were to put this in here like so, the box, you can see the box isn't tall enough. I really need to come down here somewhere for that to even work right. So we're gonna weld a patch in here and get this box back together, and then I'll fill in the lid, and we're gonna go put this box on the wall. All right. Hey there, Jeep fans, convoy crazies, jerry can junkies, willies, wackos. Johnny here, coming at you from a cloudy and shitty central Pennsylvania. Don't mind my caulk. Working in the shelter today. So, what a production this thing turned out to be. Trying to get a darn breaker. I don't even know where my breaker went. Where is that breaker? Son of a bitch. There it is. All I wanted was a dual function AFI, GFI breaker. So there's no possible way anybody could ever get injured in this shelter. Whether it's a honey bunny or it's a child or whatever. And I didn't realize, I don't want to make a career out of explaining this. I'll just show you instead. Here's a, before I started this wiring project, I didn't know about wiring. So I went to Home Depot and got a square D breaker. But little did I know this is a QO style. This old junk pile takes a QOB bolt on. So I was like, well, while I'm at it, why don't I try to find a QOB single pole 115 dual function. Good luck with that one. Found one on eBay, new old stock. Paid 60 bucks for it. Some of those other sites wanted $300. But I was kind of stuck. I just kept going down the rabbit hole trying to get this thing, making this work. Just forcing this project to work. This is a special box here. From what I have found, this is kind of unique to this application where you have your load center and your breakers and switches and all that stuff in the same box. Like actual light switches and stuff are in this. Well, you guys know what it looks like. You've seen it before. It's the panel, the breaker panel covered. But it has, look what else I found. I'm not going to paint this. This is finished. I painted the bottom. I'll explain why I did that in a second. If you probably can already guess why I stretched this box out 1.5 inches. And I'm not certified in aluminum TIG, as you can plainly see, but I'm learning. I never had a machine before that would TIG aluminum. I only have really a DC TIG set up, so stainless and carbon steel, but yeah, so I went and bought myself an AC TIG machine to TIG aluminum just so I could stretch this box out. Yeah, found all the original, the actual aluminum was stamped. So these aren't painted, this is stamped here. I hope this is right side forward, looking at it. But I was trying to decide how I wanted to preserve those, and I decided finally that I'm just not going to paint it. I was going to take like a ice pick in there and clean those out, but I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. So I had to stretch the box out, as you can see, because this dual function breaker, when it came from eBay, I didn't realize they were so much longer. This breaker wouldn't fit in the box because it's too tall, it's too long. So I was forced with the decision, do I want to keep this box, go back to a regular breaker, put a new box in it? Like, what do I want to do? I decided to stretch the box out, and here we are. So that's where we are. The only reason I took that load center back off is because I want to paint a little bit of these patches stick out when the box is on. I kind of want to paint that. Then the box can go on permanently and this shutter can be wired up. That's where we are today. Let me put this down. The paint's still tacky. That smoke gray takes forever to dry. All of my new wire mold bases have a ground pin. So I ground everything right to the shutter. And then I run my black and white back to the box and to the neutral bus bar. The whites go and the blacks are the hot side. So the other reason I took this box back off the wall here is because I wanted to paint behind here this institutional green. You can see this a little bit here, and you can see a little bit down here at the bottom of this patch. I kind of wanted to paint this here. I have found that even with a sharp knife, even with a brand new utility blade, if you saw at this stuff, it cuts far easier than if you just try to slice through it. Wow. Nice looking patch. This is an interior patch. Says in the repair manual that interior patches shall be countersunk to the full thickness of the patch, which means all the way down to a sharp point on this. That's the full cross section of the patch. Really, it should be, really the wording should be to the full cross section of the rivet head. Because if you have a patch that's thicker than this rivet, then there's no need to countersink it all the way down to the cross section of the patch. Because then your rivet will just be completely countersink. It's unnecessary work. Anyways, I think that's just being a soup Nazi about the wording, or grammar Nazi. And there's no reason for that up here in the hauler. So I just stuck this patch on here with exterior rivets. Before I put those exterior rivet patches on to keep the critters out. Drilled them out. Now that we have our interior countersunk rivets, we can go ahead and put this patch on now the right way. To change collets on my rivet gun. Yeah, we're definitely up in the holler today, folks. We got a four-wheeler running up the highway, and Dad's out there cutting some trees down. I should change the name of this, the title of this channel, to just call it like the fucking Pop Rivet channel. Here's a word of advice for you. Try not to get your patches too close to the corner. Because, like, if this were any closer to the wall, I would have a hell of a time drilling those. Because you're trying to get in there, like, in an angle. It's just a real pain. You gotta try to hold these perpendicular, because you can put them in crooked, and then one side of the rivet will stick out a little bit. These don't really pull themselves down flat like you might think they would. You have to excuse my caulk. My fat tube of caulk always gets right in the road. Big old hard caulk. Yeah. So there's definitely a structural beam here in the corner. Alrighty then. 3, 6, 9, 12. Alright. Well, I'm getting my dollar's worth out of that Goodwill pop rivet gun. There's our completed patch. You can see I chamfered the outer corner of this patch just to make it look a little better. Less of a chance you'll catch anything on there. Something were to come across this wall. I started drilling through for our bulkhead outside, our through power. This, if you remember, was here, but where I have my box, I'd have to cover this somehow. But now it's going to be in the box, and with the cover on, that'll be it. The entire electrical system would be covered. So anyways, yeah. Now we can do a little paint, put the box up. big hole right there. Dang. Alright, just send it. Just send it, buddy. Where the fuck is the paint at? Is. Because that's what this is for. Alright, if I remember correctly. There we go. If I remember correctly, it was just the very top edge of this. A very exterior edge. Here like these. I know it was about the bottom half of this. Somewhere's in theirs. Last time I was in here painting, this stuff dried almost immediately. It was so dry. The air was so dry. That ain't gonna happen today. It's been raining 4 days. I shut the door so you all wouldn't have to listen to the chainsaw out there. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother some of you. You hear this on like HGTV or like whenever they're renovating a house, you know, those TV shows. I've heard it before too. People say, it's amazing what a coat of paint will do. And I always used to say to myself, yeah, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. It's amazing what a renovation will do. Fixing something up will do. But, you know, as time has gone on and I've learned a thing or two, I can eat my words. It is amazing what a coat of paint will do to something. Oh, Kwee. Good enough for me, buddy. Good enough for me. Almost kind of a waste getting this paint out and getting the brush all painty just to paint for 2 minutes. But I don't want to get paint on the side of that electrical box that I spent all that time painting, you know. It's 6 of one, 12 of another. Let's see if we can ruin this wet paint. I'll try my best. We got these 4 go in this hole. I should stand up for this. Screw in hand. Sounds like one of them fancy Amish town names. Screw in hand. These ones go in here. Along with this one. Pull her all up into place. Stainless 1024 by 3/4 pan head through the grounding lug. Okay. So I'll show you what we're doing here. Hopefully we're in frame. So there may be a way to cut aluminum plate out, pieces of aluminum plate where, one, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, so that means not buying a metal circular saw blade or those metal circular saws that you see sometimes on certain channels. It means I'm not going to go out and buy a bandsaw just to cut some aluminum plate. And also, that doesn't make a career out of it, so that cancels out your hacksaw for doing pieces of plate like this, which I'm not sure that you could even get this cut out with a hacksaw, with a 12-inch hacksaw. I mean, maybe you could get this, but you'd be cutting for an hour. And finally, that doesn't make a gigantic mess out of the cut. You can see, I don't know if you can see, we'll zoom in here in a minute, and you'll probably see it in subsequent scenes. There was a dragonfly. I hope you saw that. That doesn't make a god-awful mess out of the cut. So that means I wouldn't be using thought I was going to nail a hornet. It means that I'm not going to be using a Sawzall for this, because I mean, you could run down through here and cut these pieces of plate out. This is 3/32, probably 40 series aluminum. It might be, yeah, whatever it is. You can cut it out with the Sawzall real fast, but you're going to be dressing this up if it matters, and it always matters to me. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is, whenever you do cut this out with a cutoff wheel, which I mean, okay, what's a cutoff wheel? Like $2? You get this plate cut out for $2, and I'll tell you why I was doing this. We're going to be repairing the threshold of the shelter, and I need a piece that looks like this to do it correctly. When this is welded up, I'm going to weld this into a piece of angle. When this is welded up, it'll be I have it written on here, 1 3/4 by 1 by 22 inches long. So if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you want to buy a 4-foot piece of 2-inch aluminum angle by 1/8, or I don't even think you can get 3/32, but it would have to be 1/8 inch. I don't even need to explain it, because I'm sure you all know. It's a friggin' arm and a leg. This, I got this piece of aluminum plate that you saw me cutting at the Surplus store. My favorite store ever pretty much now, Surplus City. That big piece of 3/32 plate, they sell it by the pound there. They got like a meat market label maker. They weigh it, they price it. It's a flat rate per pound. This piece that was this long and this wide was $6 by 3/32. You can't beat that. So for like $2 of aluminum, I'm going to have a pretty nice piece of angle. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to mention about this aluminum is when you cut it with the cutoff wheel, you get a really gnarly looking burr here. It sticks down about half the thickness of the plate here. I used to run a hand file, draw file it, use a rasp, you know, whatever. But I found recently that if you just take a utility knife, words are tough, take a utility knife, it cuts that burr right off. You just go down there and strip it like you're stripping out some wire. Look at that. If you learn anything from my years of making YouTube videos, that's probably the most time efficient tip that I could ever teach you out there. Is just cut that burr right off of there. If I have my hand file, and I mean I have nice files, they're not, I don't have dull files, which I mean I do have dull files, but I don't use them typically. Anyways, if I was trying to clean this up with a file, a piece like this, hell, I'd be here 20 minutes trying to clean it up. And there, it's done. I mean, it has it's deburred, it's done. Except that little piece. Fart around all day with a hand file cleaning up aluminum. And if that's what you want to do, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's all you have to do, there's nothing wrong with that either. But me, I got all kinds of shit to do. I can't be standing around here deburring aluminum all day long. So that's that piece. Done already. I just really, when I did this, I was just screwing around. I was like, I want to see if I can cut this burr over here. I literally couldn't believe it. Isn't it peaceful up here? Just you, me, and the dragonflies. Sure is nice. So here we are. I don't really want to get all into that dirt and get all scruffed up before work. So I'll just kneel here. Okay, so here are the pieces that we just cut, deburred, ready to weld together. I'm gonna weld this aluminum here like this and fill this fillet in. Okay, that's why we went 3/32 short in both directions. My plan is, over the years, see how friggin' flimsy this is? Over the years here, when I got the shelter, this was bent down almost to the floor. I'll bend this back out here. This was all goofed up and missing. So you can see there are tapered actual real rivets, but they're tapered head rivets that go through this door opening here and hold this skin around the opening. I've replaced some of them already with some 832 tapered head screws and nylocks. My vision is to have this angle in behind here, in behind these angle pieces here. I don't know if I can get it in there because I got this other rivet in the way. But it's going to sit here and I'll catch it with the very end screw that's going to go here and here. Okay, this one's actually obviously going to be in underneath, so this is going to get the garbage out of here. This is going to be under here like this. This is going to be here like this. So this one's actually the one that's going to be under here, bolted down through here. I'll probably spray some foam under here like it's supposed to have, and that'll be it. It'll just sit in there. I could shoot some like liquid nails or something under here, but I don't know. Still dealing with a leak here. I'm not exactly sure where the water's coming in. I'm thinking it's coming in from up here at the drip channel above the door. I caulked it up before this rain we had. It rained the last 4 days straight. And when you know it, the rain washed the caulking right out. I thought I had enough time, but I didn't. So that's this. We'll take this home and weld this together. And I can cut this. I'll take this, pop this angle off of here, cut this skin back to here, and then I'll be able to work that in there. Straighten this door frame up first. Bob Vila would be proud. If you don't know, you're too young to know, Bob Vila used to peddle these on TV. These, I forget what the hell they're even called. It's a Craftsman product. Robo-Grip, that's what they are. The Robo-Grip, old Bob Vila. Wonder if he's still even alive. Need to get a hammer in here and give that a little persuasion. It's okay, we'll get to it. Wow. I did the whole outro and I didn't even have the camera turned on. Wow, isn't that nice? So we got our piece of aluminum angle here welded up. I got a little bit of warpage out of her there in the center. That's okay. Looking pretty though. Got some fresh tasty beads on there. I got some more welding to do here for Dad. So I'm going to switch processes, switch tungstens, switch filler wire, switch polarity, and do that before work today. So we're going to take this up into the hauler and put her in there. That's going to be a job for another day. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Keep on jeeping on. We'll see you out there.